Hey guys, First Nephi 18, yay. So remember again, this is a lot of reading this week and there's a lot to digest, so if you don't get through it all, it's all good. Do your best. Pick the points that are going to mean the most to you and your family and where you're at now, or just you, where you're at now, whatever that looks like. I don't know what you guys are going to teach out of this. If you're a teacher, some good things in here. There's a lot to really focus on. You're not going to be able to teach all of it. It's too much. So really whittle it down and pray about what you actually need to get across to your class, what's going to help them the most, whatever that might be. All right. First Nephi 18, conversing with the Lord. So, in building this ship that he's now got his brothers help with because they've been shocked out of the spiritual blindness and they're like, we'll totally help you. Which comes around interesting later on because they get on the boat and get a bit like, yeah, we built this and had some ugliness. But in this time, they're, again, helpful, good, on the right track, seeing the good things, focusing where they should, all is going well. So, needing to have constant direction, in verse 3, and I, Nephi, did go into the mount off, and did pray oft unto the Lord, wherefore the Lord showed unto me great things. Converse with the Lord often. Right? And then in verse 4, it came to pass that after I had finished the ship, according to the work of the Lord, my brethren beheld that it was good, and the workmanship thereof was exceedingly fine, wherefore they did humble themselves again before the Lord. So it was like another testament to them that actually the design that the Lord had given was incredible. Now, why wouldn't it be? The Lord created the entire earth. It's beautiful. I think he can do a boat. You know, I've got trouble creating dinner sometimes. I don't think I could do a boat. If the Lord showed me how, I'd give it a try. Can't guarantee it would float, but I'd trust in him that it would. I think it still, again, takes a lot of courage for something like that. And that's not my call. That was Nephi's and his brethren. I've got different things that to others would seem impossible, and yet I've been able to do them. And I know I've done them because the Lord has prepared a way and is with me to instruct me throughout. One of the examples I could really think of is when I was starting this format of teaching was right in COVID when I had my institute class that really wanted to continue the study, which I so loved that they wanted to do that. And there were other people that wanted to have Sunday school. I didn't want to miss the study. They were really excited about what we were going to study that year, and being in lockdown was hard. And there wasn't a lot of good things to watch, like on a Sabbath day. And I prayed about what to do and clearly told teach it online. Okay, I can go live, but then I'm like, I want to make it better. I want to make it more interesting. I want to improve on this. And the pathway that led to where this has become now, and the way that the platforms have changed their methods and their, Instagram changes every 5 days, right? And what they'll accept, what they'll do, and then Facebook followed suit, and they don't do this anymore, but they do that, and how to do each of those things. And each time that I needed to do them, upload them, I had no idea how to do any of that. None of it. How to edit, how to add things, how to put filters on, which I don't use because I still don't really know how to use them, and I don't think I need them. All those things. I didn't know. I was uploading to Facebook and then it changed again, and I'm like, what am I going to do? And it was clear, use your YouTube channel. I'm like, I don't have a YouTube channel. And I'm like, oh yeah, I do. Created on a whim when YouTube first came out with channels. I thought, oh, I'll try this. Years before, uploaded one thing, never went back to it. Now it's full of come follow me lessons, right? And again, nothing special at the beginning, was very simple, and it just progressed in a natural way. But again, none of those things that I did, knowing how to record and upload, how to schedule things, I have all learnt and have come very easily because I know the Lord wanted me to do it and has instructed that and helped me to learn that. Down to what program do I use, and reminded that there's actually one existing already on my laptop that I had never used before. And I could use that. And it's been a growth period for all of that. But I'm like, Nephi had to build a ship. Nephi had to do those things. That's one of the things the Lord needed me to do. I'm grateful I get to do it, and as I say, I will continue to do it as long as he continues to give me words to teach, which is still happening, so I'm still here. And, if nothing else, somebody in some time or one person can see this and be uplifted. So that's mine. I've had many others, but that was the big one I could think of where I had literally no idea what to do, and yet he told me very clearly, and it came quite easily on how to do it. So it was kind of exciting. It was a bit exhilarating and very much kept me occupied through COVID. So it was good. Kept me a focus on the good stuff instead of focusing on the negative, which would have been so easy to do in that time. So I really appreciate that. But yes, conversing with the Lord often, because I prayed a lot over that time, and there was a lot of answers given little bit by little bit, which is probably exactly how Nephi experienced it, because it's generally what the Lord does, right? Gives us little bit by little bit. Now, so they get in the boat and they sail off. It does mention in 7 that during their time in the wilderness, Jacob and Joseph were born. And then in 8, they sail off on the ship that Jesus designed and helps them sail, because he can. In the end of 9, it gets, they spoke with much rudeness. Yeah, even they did forget by what power they had been brought thither. So they got just a bit boat party-like. And it's like, it's not good not to do that. And it got so bad, Nephi said, look, we shouldn't be doing this. It's going to affect the direction of the boat. And they're like, look, we've had enough of you talking to us again. And again, their ugly focus is back again. It's just not good. And in 20 it says, there was nothing save it were the power of God which threatened them with their destructions that would soften their hearts. Because at this point, Nephi's tied up. The boat's headed for destruction. Everyone's sick. There's no fresh water. There's just a mess, right? So they're just like, oh my gosh, we need to do this. But if you look at that, and they have that repentance right there, and a lot of people call that deathbed repentance, like repentance at the last minute. But God will take even desperate, undeserved repentance. That's how good he is. He will take that repentance and say, sure, and stop the ugliness of the water around them, keep them safe. And then when they arrive where they're going to go, even though it might only be, I don't know how much longer, there wasn't really recorded days that we know of on the boat, we don't know how long they were there. There's theories into how long it would have taken and what particular journey they could have taken. If you want to go study that, go ahead. To me, it's still conjecture. It's a very good conjecture, but it's still conjecture and doesn't actually apply to the lesson here. The lesson is that the Lord will take repentance, and God will take repentance, even if it's given at the last minute. It's better for you if you do it earlier. But if it's only going to be your destruction that keeps you from, the destruction is the last thing that says, okay, now I will humble myself. He will take even that. That's how good he is. And then when you get to the promised land in verse 24 and 25, and it talks about all the goodness that's there, and that they got there, and there was seeds and fruit, and it just said that that everything grew exceedingly, wherefore we were blessed in abundance. And that even he will bless those that were behaving badly. Like 5 minutes ago, in the scheme of things, they were behaving badly. They behaved badly many times before, and yet he will still bless them abundantly, because that's how good he is. And I think that's a really good lesson for so many of us when we think people don't deserve things. It's like, no, because we have a God who will bless us abundantly, and I'm very grateful for that, because I've had times I don't muck up as bad as that. But I'm not comparing here. I'm comparing I've mucked up in my own realm, in my own sphere, when I know better. And the Lord still blesses me, and the Lord will still accept my repentance, even though it's like the millionth time I might have repented of that thing. He'll still take it, because that's how good they are, both of them. And aren't we grateful for that? So, why does the Spirit depart when contention arises? Why do you think that is? And how or what can we do to better quickly quash contention and invite the Spirit back? Have a think of those questions. And maybe ask your family if you're doing that. Why does the Spirit depart when contention arises? And what are some of the things, or how can we get that to not happen? So if the contention starts arising, how can we shut it down real quick? We can't just push it aside. We've got to deal with it. But how do we deal with it in a way that invites the Spirit back in quickly, so that we don't have those moments of lost direction in our lives? Have a think of that. So converse with the Lord often. Great story to read with your teenagers especially. All right. Hang around, we're going into chapter 19. I'll see you there.